Cooking Up a Storm, sponsored by West Virginia Northern Community College Culinary Arts Program.
We're cooking up a storm. I'm Jeff Oechslein. Today in the kitchen, Bill Bryson is joining me from Uniglobe Travel. They're located in Wheeling, West Virginia. And Bill, we just got back, well, not too long, well, it's coming up, late September, October. You had me as a host on your trip. It was a cruise out in the started in the Pacific Northwest, and we went all the way down to California. And today what we're going to be making. I thought, okay, what was the one food that stuck out to me as you travel? And you know, when you travel, there's always seems to be that one thing. And when we were in the Pacific Northwest, sourdough bread bowls filled with chowder. That's the go-to, right?
Yeah, San Francisco especially. Every time we're in San Francisco, whether it's Pier 39, we'll find the sourdough bread someplace.
Yeah, so that's what I think that's what we're gonna make today. I didn't make the sourdough from scratch. We don't have all day here, you know. But that's to be a sourdough bowl, and I didn't carry it home in my luggage. Don't worry, I got it at the bakery. So, but we're gonna start by adding the bacon, because this has to. We're gonna make a roux, and basically what a roux. Oh, see, I goof up, and that's that makes it fun. What a roux is it's fat and flour, and this is going to give our chowder some thickness. So really, to me, the big difference between a chowder and a soup, like a soup base has it's liquidy, but a chowder has some thickness to it, and the roux is going to give it that. And have you ever made like Thanksgiving turkey gravy? You're making a roux too. You're using the turkey fat and you're using some flour to make the gravy. And eventually we're going to add some stock, and we got some seafood stock. But I think, the Pacific Northwest, the weather up there too, I like to combine weather and food here with cooking up a storm. The weather is so, rainy a lot, and especially in the fall and the winter, they get their rainy season. And, nothing fills your belly like a warm bowl of chowder. On a rainy day. Now
we did our homework, and the week we went, nothing. Fog one day, but other than that, we had pretty good weather.
Yeah, so let's while this got to cook for like 4 minutes. While that's going on, while this is cooking up a little bit and getting crisp, let's talk about that. The cruise, it was a cruise, so we flew all the way to Vancouver, and then we got on the cruise the next day. And I'm drawing a blank there. It was Royal Caribbean.
Yes, Royal Caribbean was the Radiance of the Seas. Got on in Vancouver. Went north for a bit up to Victoria. Those two cities are both in British Columbia, Canada. And then we started heading south.
Yeah, and then we were headed south to
Seattle. Yeah, I know that was one of your stops.
I love the coffee too, because I got to see the original Starbucks in Seattle. I thought that was fascinating. And then we went to this Starbucks Reserve where it was like there were only like 4 or 5 of them in the world, and we were able to get all these different types of coffees. I had pumpkin spice latte, but it was over ice cream. It was delicious. So yeah, I basically ate my way between that and the food that you get on the cruise. We ate our way all the way across the west coast of the west coast of North America, basically.
I think you were negotiating with the waiter a couple of nights there for something you really liked, maybe getting more than one portion.
Well, yeah, that's a little pro tip, I think. My dad taught me that. It's like when you're on one of those cruises, it is, it's basically all inclusive when it comes to the food. So if you like one thing, but you like it, try them both, And
they will bring both.
Yeah. So I think I had surf and turf the one night. I got a little fillet with my lobster, so I had a surf and turf.
Good. And then from there, from Seattle, we went down to San Francisco, and that's always a good stop. We docked right next to Pier 39. Pier 39 has got all your restaurants, and it's in the Fisherman's Wharf area. So if somebody's going to go to San Francisco and say, I want to be 3 nights in San Francisco, where would I go? We would put you probably in Fisherman's Wharf, walking distance to Pier 39 and some of the other areas right there, some of the restaurants in Fisherman's Wharf. And then from San Francisco, we got a tour. We went both ways across the
Golden Gate Bridge.
And we went under it twice. And then you got to go across it twice.
And of course, you see when you're in San Francisco on Pier 39, one of the big places to stop and see are the sea lions. Sea lions.
Yeah.
They're like barking up. They're just they're laying out there in the sun and they're
There's
barking away.
hundreds of them.
Yeah.
They just lay out there, and they're pretty cool. You can tell when you get close to them that they're out there because of the smell.
Yeah.
So you might not want to hang around there too much. But
I was eating ice cream watching them, so it was fun.
Yeah. And then from San Francisco, we went down south, Santa Barbara, and Catalina. Catalina was probably one of my favorites. We were there one other time and couldn't go to shore because
I remember you saying that.
Because you do tender there, but that worked out really neat. And Catalina ended up being one of my favorite stops on that cruise.
Now we're going to add, after a couple minutes went by, we're going to add our veggies, and all we got here is some diced up celery and onion, and that's going to go in. Yeah, give it a little flavor, of course, base of your soup. Sort of layering the flavors here. I call it soup, but it is chowder. We are making a chowder. And I'm trying some, instead of just clam, Bill, I'm going to add some shrimp and cod in here. So this is going to be if you like seafood, this is going to be a good seafood chowder.
Cool.
And we're going to let that cook for a little bit. And now, you also have coming up, you're inviting me again. I guess I didn't scare anyone away, right?
No complaints.
So next year, what's in the works? What are we thinking?
We've been playing around to try to do something with this cooking up a storm.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually talked to the group coordinator on board the ship, and they said that we don't know what we could do there. So we said we need a land place. We need to go where we can go to a restaurant and somebody will work with us. We found two. If we did a Washington, D.C. trip,
okay,
and then build in 2 food stops where you and the chef, the owner/chef, could work on, just like you're doing here.
Yeah.
I think that'd be interesting for the travelers. And of course, we'd have our meal there.
Yeah,
as
they'd
well.
eat lunch. Get a show. We'll put on a show for them.
Yeah. Well, one is on the way to D.C., and then one is in the D.C. area.
Okay.
And both of these chefs are highly recommended, and somebody has recommended both of them, so we're going to try to include those. But in addition to that, it's going to be probably a 3-night trip to D.C.
All bus. We won't have to take a plane
it'll be
or
bus,
anything.
no plane, just bus. And there's a National Weather Service that you can do a tour in D.C. We've never done that one, but
that's where the headquarters are located.
Yeah, so we can do a tour. You got weather, you got the food portion.
I like that how you're gearing it around my likes.
Yeah. And then for our baseball tour in June, we have arranged to meet again with a gentleman who is a spy, Vince the Spy. And people have traveled with us when we've met with Vince. We had him come to a dinner one time for us. He came in and he said, no, I can only spend an hour here with you. I promised my wife I'd be home. After 2 hours, I had to interrupt him and said, Vince, I don't want you to get in trouble here. We could listen to you all night. And so we had to cut it off, but this guy is tremendous. He was actually the trainer of our spies.
Okay.
And the stories, unbelievable stories. So we made arrangements to meet up with him again for a couple-hour session in D.C. at our hotel when we were there in June. So Vince the Spy is going to be on that, and we're going to try to do the same thing with him when we're over there for your trip.
And you were thinking of maybe, I saw on the itinerary, maybe a dinner at an embassy.
We've done that a couple of times
Okay.
too. That's pretty cool. Dinner at one of the embassies. Probably.
And again, this all isn't set in stone yet. We're still in the working
Yeah.
process of it, so this may change a little bit. But you're going to pack a lot into those 3 days.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, when you're on one of these trips and you're sitting next to someone, you may not want to eat a lot of garlic. But I did throw in 3 cloves of garlic. I added a little bit more because Mayor of Steubenville, Jerry Barilla, came up to me and says, I really enjoy your cooking, Jeff, but you really need to add a little more garlic to the food. So I added an extra. That's an extra clove for Jerry Barilla, the Mayor of Steubenville, right there for you. So we got some garlic. So this is, you only want to have the garlic in for 30 seconds. When you cook garlic, you don't want it to burn. You don't want it to get real crispy. You want to smell the garlic, and it's getting flavorful right now. So then we're going to make our roux. And again, all this is flour. And we're going to mix this in to our vegetables and our fat. The fat is the important part here because the fat of the bacon is going to make the roux. And this has to get golden brown. That's how we know when it's done. See, it's like white now, Bill. You can come over here. And see how it's like white because I just added it in. But when we start seeing this like a golden brown kind of a color, then we're going to know then it's good to start adding our liquid. I'm going to add a little bit of stock, and I'm adding this like you don't have to measure it out, but roughly about 2 tablespoons at a time. So I'm just adding a little bit at a time. You don't want to just dump this all in. So this is going to make our roux thick, and that's going to make the chowder thick. So you don't want to dump it in all at once. You'll get faster as you're coming along here, but you don't want to see a bunch of liquid in there. It's sort of like a gooey texture is what we have going right now. We're going to stir this up for a little bit, and we'll be right back.
I was the first in my family to go to college.
I was looking to switch careers.
I wanted the highest quality, but most affordable option for a degree.
No matter where you are in life, West Virginia Northern Community College can make your dream of a college degree a reality. With over half of our students being first-generation college students and free tuition for many programs, Northern is the right choice for you.
I can go to college. West Virginia Northern Community College. You belong here.
Okay, our seafood stock, I added all the seafood stock into here, and did it slowly, and it went from a paste to, it's a thick, you can see the consistency here, Bill. It's kind of thick. It's not like soupy. Also is going to add some thickness to this, some starch, and those are our red potatoes. I got some baby red potatoes, and I cut them up. I sort of estimated 1.5 pounds, but now I'm looking at this and I'm wondering maybe if I have a little too much, so I may not use all these, but I use most of them. I'll dump them in. You could use the skins on there as well, keep them on. But they have a lot of baby potatoes now at the grocery store they come in handy for stuff like this for soups, because you don't have to cut up a big one. And the longer the bigger your potato is, it's going to take longer to get soft, and we want that to be like a fork tender, so it's going to take a while to get soft. You want to hand me the thyme, if you have time, Bill?
I have time.
You have time. So we got to always get the thyme joke in there. 2 bay leaves going in here, by the way. And if you want any information on any of these trips, by the way, we should tell everyone, Uniglobe, you have a website, right?
We do have a website. You can email us, you can call us, all of that, but the website is just uniglobehighvalleytravel.com.
So that has all your trips, your day trips, your bus trips, your cruises, your longer trips.
And we have flyers built on each of the trips, and we've got like 75 trips or something, I think, coming up in the next 12 months. We had to have them ready for our travel show last Saturday, so we have flyers, and if you say, hey, I got a couple of people I'd like to share it with us, maybe give us a call, we'll send you as many flyers as you need.
And you can be on you put on their mailing list. You have a mailing
if you're not
list, right?
on our mailing list, we usually send out about 4 or 5 mailings a year.
Okay.
Happy to add you.
Well, this is going to take 15 minutes, so we're going to take a short break. 7th inning stretch, Bill. I know you like your baseball.
There you
This
go.
is the 7th inning stretch here. We're almost coming home. We're going to sing the 7th inning stretch, and this has to, again, simmer, not boiling. We don't want this rapid boiling. Simmer for 15 minutes just to get those potatoes, which are hard, cooked and fork tender. And we'll be right back. Okay, so 15 minutes have passed by. Our potatoes are fork tender, Bill. And the smell right here should make you think of the boat.
Yeah.
little fishy.
Yeah.
Little fishy. We're going to add some cod in here. So cod. Now the cod's going to cook the longest for 5 minutes. And then once 5 minutes go by, we're going to add our shrimp for another 3 minutes. And then I have some clam, which is, and I cut these cod pieces into chunks, by the way. And the clam is just from a can. And I didn't go too crazy. That's canned clam. And this has to cook for like 5 minutes in here. This day of age, we were talking about how you can go book online for trips, but a travel agency like Uniglobe, why should someone use that?
More than ever, we've got, I think there's like 10 of us in the office, and they're all taking trips too. And I don't know, Heather just got back from Hawaii, and Jennifer was in Ireland, and you're right. There's so many experiences out there. And if you ask me a question about something and I haven't been there, I got 9 people I can go to and get back to you within a matter of an hour probably with more ideas than you can ever use.
Yeah.
That's the reason.
You know, when you go, if anyone out there is thinking about traveling and maybe you've traveled your whole life, you know, just by yourselves, and you've never done a group tour, and you may be scared of it. I really enjoy the group tours because you sort of become a little family on these trips. You're only together for 7 to 10 days most of the time, or in this case, coming up in Washington, 3 days. But I mean, you're spending a lot of time with these people. By the way, I just dumped in the shrimp. They're going to be about 3 more minutes, and then we'll throw in the clams. But it's kind of neat. You become this little family. Everyone looks out for each other. You make friends. My Christmas card list has grown through the years because we'd exchange addresses sometimes, and you get a Christmas card in. You're like, oh, I remember taking the trip with Nancy, in Ireland or Hawaii or wherever it was. So it is, and then maybe sometimes you meet people on these trips that. You may want to say, hey, I had such a good time with that couple. Then you go on another trip together, so it's kind of neat how that works. Last but not least, Bill, we got the clams are going in. So the clams go in. So the shrimp, when they turn pink, you don't want to overcook shrimp because then they get chewy. But these don't have a minute or so. These are going to get in here just to get them warm. But they don't have to cook too long. So we got to... Man, I know this is like a chowder. I almost got like a gumbo going on right here. This is some thick and hearty, a lot of meaty chowder. So I think it's going to turn out pretty good. And a couple more ingredients. We got 2 more. We got the cup of cream, heavy cream here, which will give it more of that white color and help thicken it up a little bit. Add a few calories, right? And this is some parsley. I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons here. You have so many stories from your trips. You thinking of writing a book down the road?
Yes, I am. I've got a lot of it done. I work on it for a while, then I get bored and set it aside or get busy.
Let's see. So let's get this over here. So there we go. That looks like chowder to me. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it turned out pretty good. Look, it's already pre-cut. How'd that happen? So what we would do is, where's my spoon? I need a spoon. Probably a spatula. We'll use a spoon. This will be better because that's a.
Oh yeah.
So we'll probably make a mess out of this. But basically, if you go to San Francisco, this is what you're gonna get. I'll be honest with you though, Bill. I think you're not gonna get as much seafood as we have in here because we got the cod, we got the clam, and there's big shrimp in there. So this is definitely a meal in itself. And when you eat it with that sourdough bread, it really puts it over the top. So there you go. That's what when we were out in San Francisco, that's basically it right there. And then you can take some of this and you eat it with your.
How much would you charge for that if it was your restaurant?
I don't. You remember how much they were charging in San Francisco? I know it's not cheap, but it wasn't. I'd be charging a little more, I think, than San Francisco
because bigger.
Bigger and more shrimp. More meat, and we got more cod and the shrimp and the clams. Yeah. My wife's coming in. She knows the exact price. They were $20, she said.
How much would we charge for that, Amber? 20 bucks?
We'll go 25. Out west, though, everything is pricey out in San Francisco. Do you want to give it a little taste right here? I didn't even have a spoon ready for you. We'll get spoons. Although it is going to be ridiculously hot, as you can see, because it did just come right out of the stove. Maybe I'll just take some from right here. I don't have all the shrimp and everything in it. Well, tastes like a chowder.
Yep, very good.
I think that's a winner chowder dinner right there. Well, thank you, Bill. Thanks for coming on. We're cooking up a storm, and you can take that to go with you. Just pack it in your carry-on.
Yeah.
And again, thank you for inviting me, my wife, my son on that trip. And
it's a great trip.
And everyone had a good time. And looking forward to next year, Washington, D.C. And I really love that you're putting time and interest into my interest so you like weather, you like cooking, and you like the Bible, the museums,
and all the stuff that's in D.C. It's going to be a great trip.
Yeah, I think it is. So look for more on that. It's going to be coming out your way early in the year, and we'll let you know here, of course, on WTOV 9. For Cooking Up a Storm, I'm Jeff. That's Bill from Uniglobe. We'll
Bye-bye.
see you next time.
Cooking Up a Storm, sponsored by West Virginia Northern Community College Culinary Arts Program.